Okay, so more about lean. So this, I'm going to be sharing the 5 principles of lean, which is really like a step-by-step journey as well of how you can embrace lean, either in your career or in your organization or in the departments or in the teams that you are a member of right now. So the first step in lean is actually that you need to first identify the value, right? So similar to what we did in the fast food ordering example, um, you have identified the value for that example, right? Which is really all the customer is wanting is for the customer to receive the complete and accurate order, yeah, in maybe a set amount of time. So that's the value that the customer wants. So once you have identified the value, then you may be able to map your value stream. So you may need to actually understand, okay, so how does the value currently flow in my team or in my business, right? Like for that fast food restaurant example, how does that value flow currently? Do we have waste that exists in the process? But yeah, don't worry about the waste for now. It's just really first understand how does the value flow from the time that the customer demand that value to the time that that value was received by the customer. And we'll talk about how can you actually map the value stream later on. And then once you've identified your value stream, then you may now go ahead and create the flow to your value stream. So value stream in this context is it's more of like imagine a river, right? So imagine the value of flowing through the river, right? And you can see, if you can see some logs or obstacles along the way, then that is not a good flow for your value, right? So flows in a practical example or blockers in a practical example can be too many approvals that exist in the process so that your value does not flow very smoothly in the value stream, or maybe some wastes in the process or some backlogs even in some of the departments or in some of the teams, causing your value not to flow smoothly into the value stream. So you may need to look into those blockers, what we call bottlenecks, blockers, or wastes in the process, and try to address them. And the beauty about lean is that it can give you tools and techniques on how to address those obstacles along the way. Then the fourth item, the fourth principle, is establishing a pool. I'm not sure why there is a typo there, but it should be establishing a pool, this is more related to actually manufacturing process, wherein you don't need to produce products every time you want. You first actually produce your product basically coming from the customer demand. Because what will happen if you keep on producing products and there's no demand for it? You keep on pushing and pushing, and asking time from your employees to produce. But at the end of the day, there will be no use of that specific product or service, right? Because there's no demand. So that's the beauty of having a pull system, is that you produce only when there is customer demand. And then, of course, the flow will still be taken a look at during that journey. And then the fifth principle is really about seeking perfection, right? So it doesn't mean that once you have done all these four principles, it doesn't mean that you will end there, right? So customer will, of course, always change their demands, increase their demands, change their requirements. New people will come into the company or into the team to help you out. So you need to continuously seek perfection and not just stop once you have, done the 4 principles on a certain problem, right? So that is just the main idea.